experience with shiny Pokemon. Get a major thing memorable on this. It's going to be too entertaining. I'm being completely honest. Hey guys, I'm going to ask me about my favorite shiny Pokemon. And then my dad goes, yeah, what's your favorite shiny? Yeah, it's going to have to be Deal because you really need to know the feeling of it. But now he does. I'm sure he'll have anything. Anyway, you know, I'm just young. I just understand Carvana is the guy that you feel like you see everything. So we'll catch up with you on at the end. Alright, finally all these critters are taken care of. Not a single one survived a single thunderbolt from movie that movie is absolutely overpowered. Don't you guys say it, Mom? I'm going to have to agree with you. That being said, don't forget how brutally long the journey is after each banana. It's 4, 5, and 6. All things that happen one after the other, but the 7th gym is like half the map across the way from us. And then the 8th gym is only accessible after the evil team is successfully funded in the whole region in December of the organization. And that's definitely excellent in our entire situation. Yeah, definitely excellent. Maybe it's the lead, but I feel like you barely explored the region. Yeah, I know what you don't think it's because we've had to backtrack so many times on that. That means that we really have covered from half the map on each thing. All I want to do is I'm going to get Michael the faster time here. He only needs to get like one hit off and he can kill this mighty animal. So, hey, let's go, Barbo. Obama is going to die in like 10 seconds, no doubt in my mind. Yes, under-level Captain Obama. He'll be fine. Donna, trust me, open. Okay, maybe that was a high roll. Hopefully, we just have another piranha. The same dog we've already seen here. Yeah, George, I'm going to this much coming, but don't worry about it too much. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed too, because so far the only important battle I've got to have was the 7th gym leader, and that was like the easiest one we've had up to this point, but that's alright. Yeah, I'll get something fun down the line. Alright, you got to call it a day here, Obama. Yeah, I probably should. We've been recording for a good while. You would make sure to comment below about your experience with shiny Pokemon. Hopefully it's better than mine. Yes, thank you for reminding them of that, Donald. I'll go ahead and get the rest of it off here, Julie. Thanks so much for making it this far into the episode. We're not going to make excuses for the time it takes from these videos, but we're slowly ending the best we can to get these videos out for you as quick as we can. While still upholding a high standard of quality. Hope you can understand that, and that you leave a like and a subscription to the channel so you know when the next episode drops. That is incredibly important now because we are hoping that the next video is season that will be our biggest video. There will be another special opportunity. It's going to be a process, but it should also be our pivot to expanding the channel more than you've seen us far. Either way, we're all looking forward to it. Make sure to check the Discord link in the description. Where the hell is your mama? This is Joe. I'm here to make friends. I'm here to talk you home. That's what the boys I was feeling today. You look like a pissed off. You look like a short kid. I'm very reason I thought this was episode 11, not episode 2. Just as a joke. What can I say, bitch? I didn't like. Okay, folks. Shut the hell up so I can just do the info for us because you, my God, what the hell do you want, Diana? One thing I can say, one thing is Joe, please just quit. Hey, alright, this has already been damn hectic stuff. I can finish my 10 anything, Diana. It'll calm down before anything crazy. That was sarcasm, wasn't it, Donald? You know exactly what the hell I figured out. Wait, what the hell? Don't worry about it, Joe. Just go to the info for fun. Oh, shit, right? So, viewers, welcome back to episode 11. The president's playing Pokemon Emerald. Last time we made it through the Winter Institute, and now I'm caught the lovely ass chicken. This time I will be exploring the route home to the mall. I must kill you. You should have given yourself. What the hell is that? Over the divine blast. Joe, please. It's still like the first minute of the episode. You can get demonetized if you're not sure this is. What the hell, though, Joe? It's not a human being. How is this your reason for not picking on it? Okay, so you're right. She deserves a certain amount of respect, and you don't get that too. That being said, if you respect someone, you don't take it easy on them. This isn't a particularly difficult battle, but it is a rival fight. At the end of the day, what's the plan? Probably like quick, somebody going 4 times shot. Yeah, seriously, they is just a trash rod. No, it doesn't even ever have a fully evolved starter before he quits the journey and goes back. Alright? I accept that part pretty lame. But she did some revolution. The rival number would be more to come out. Well, they I better, I lost 500. Now it's actually a good thing. I'm used to it anyway. It's become this nice to do work. Nowadays, surviving is always a garbage ass, good, no fire. The sport, it used to actually feel like you used to be better than that, but now it's just goddamn woke. Yes. I don't know. I was trying to do cool on that side. All right, since you got Braille, I believe you should play the team to have. Oh shit, that's not good. Imagine not killing with the modest range boosting stats, super effective search. Good job, Swingle. Braille. Carlos can his cats are just trash, coconut. I'm even almost okay with playing with them. If you'll just admit they are infinitely worse than the drug you don't want. Like it's supposed to be salty, but it dies. Okay, yeah, sorry, my underball bundle died with hardness. Buckle and double kick from something 6 levels higher than you. Susan asshole. Okay, all right, Donald. You got a point. Part of it's that. And I'm just another and fast citizen sitting across to a ball. This could potentially see that this episode is your experience. Anyway, I want to switch the topic back over to the ride and maybe isn't my favorite ride, but I don't think it's that bad. My favorite is probably Sharon from Black and White. I may be biased because of how much I like the game, but he was a good balance of that friendly and respectful nature with the competitive rivalry. It's also pretty cool that people can continue doing an activity. Who's your favorite rival guy? Thank you, she's so funny. Rose Joe, yeah. We did a thing from this one. I think we all know the answer. Mine is probably Silver, who goes and just takes what he wants. That's the mark of someone who will succeed. The guy who owns the ballot. Joe, I don't know how they actually remember this time, but more importantly, Donald, are you calling Silver someone who will succeed in life because he robbed a Pokemon laboratory? Yes. All right, well, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. He did. It's the dumbest thing you've ever heard. The great AI, exactly the same way we are so there. AI visionary. Hey, this is not a So you're going to do so well in today's episode. You're going to dig through the film without struggling through the puzzles at all. And you're going to dig without succeeding. Oh, wow, thank you. Jesus Christ, yeah, Jesus. All right, let us know the whole thing on the first time rival show. Who's your favorite? Who's the worst one? And why? Interested to see everyone's opinions on this one. All right, anyway, John's going to give a manual side for obvious reasons. I think we should definitely keep the side and steal wing. I'm not sure about the other two. What are you thinking? It is your Pokemon after all. Thanks, Gil. Go ahead and give me the quick attack. Quick attack having 100% accuracy and only taking one turn to do is not only more reliable, but also more convenient to use in battle. If I were more serious about this run, then I'm not sure about having both fly and wind attack. But as things stand, don't exactly need quick attack on a slower, despite ability. I'm not entirely sure if I agree with that guy. Having just quick attack for those times we get paralyzed, this can't help. Jesus, that battle's been forever. Also, Donald, going back to your earlier point, the fuck yeah, there's arguing for the sake of debate at this point, but I feel like having a 95% accurate fly at 70 power out, 100% accurate wing attack at 60 pounds, and the latter is completely redundant. Yeah, we're not going to tell you the accuracy. It's the fact that fly takes whole turns to use when wing attack gets the same job done like 90% of the time. We don't need to add all that to this run. It's unnecessary time to review. And more importantly, to do it in some all right, you know what, Donald, you're right. I changed my mind. I know I could have adopted the level-headed logic of the thing this year, but I feel like I need to be better at taking a step back and approaching it from a different perspective as balance. All right, how was this round? We've been on for like 2 hours and needs like kind of the one of the best pitches on the foot. Can't argue with that when Joe Forte not only is a bomb, but it's a damn proven concept in itself. Like every house in here, I think there's something interesting going on too. It's not just a waste of time to go to other cities. Some of them go through and reorganize all the items in here. You're not going to see that. Why even say something? I'm not doing it. Jesus, all right? I'll take care of it when it's my turn. Get this. They'll make sure to buy some revives while they're here. Just the repels if they have some. Regular repels are annoying as hell. All right, sure thing. Just making sure we have status stuff too. A few awakening serves maybe like 5 revives to have. And yeah, okay, super repel. Why don't we catch the last of until we can find Nancy's best? Actually, Donald's super repels are the best in terms of overall value. Well, don't be like $540 for 200 steps is a better deal than $700. That's like the rip-off. I feel like the hand did that on purpose for the one players to do it. Like that, I'm not buying it unless it's the best. I am the best. You're the best of mine. You said every house has something special. And those last guys, they ain't nothing to it. Whatever goes to be inside, what's in this house? I think I will get this stuff. Please don't waste all of our money. We need a lot. If you can write CMs to the game from the guy. Okay, well, let's see. We make sure to get 3 Pokemon there. So we are all friends together. That should be it. Jesus Christ, Joe, we don't need this shit. We don't even have a Pokemon with laser power or secret power or whatever the fuck it is to make the secret base in the first place. Oh, that's a good point. I love the NPC. I should get a pretty death for all the calls. Holy shit, Joe. Please send out Joe Wild. Where is it, though? Can you please play it on my iPhone? Maybe it's over. Not that big of a deal, though. Plus, maybe there are some views that enjoy the synchronization mechanics. So after all, you got to see that special. You should be allowed to have the synchronization sessions, don't you think? All right, so if we got our own gym, then we might as well get some matching chairs. It just makes sense. That being said, Donald, I'll get a heavy chair for your fat ass. Okay, Joe, let's just call it a bet, okay? We can get some other stuff when we get to the department store and really go, but for now, this is fine. Besides, Donald has a point no one knows secret power is the most. Yeah, I want to do secret base. Because, yeah, I want to get some shit and really cover thirst. Anyway, why is this guy doing this stuff? Ain't no way you won't be just ask that the very fuck those guys. The dog smells like an animated fish. Before we move on past this idea of selling things, Joe, ignore that whole secret option. So now let's figure it out in a second. Anyway, this place is cool. Joe, let's see your skills. Well, all right, lady, I will play your little game. Let's get a big one. Okay. Wait, all right. Yeah, right. Boom. Wait, I have to do it again. What's that? Joe, if you get it wrong, the resume restarts the beginning and it never changes. So this okay. I bet some time and tricky, so I'm going with writing. Telling you, so goddamn it, no. Okay, it has to be left this time, right? So, I am both going there. Give me that. Yes, the revenue stuff could have been worse, Donald. You could have gotten it wrong and then forgotten what answers you already put. Anyway, this is actually everything we could do in this time. So, editor, take us over to the next round, too. All right, group 120, the beginning of what feels like the longest stretch between towns and all of Pokemon. I can't wait to have to explore it all myself. Next episode, I'm on the Parasol with whole thing some done or something. Yeah, this whole stretch is definitely a long one. Like Pokemon loves to put a huge gap towards the end of the mid-game in their game. In Kanto, there's that huge route after ladder, and you want to clear the path through at that point. In Sinnoh, there's that hellish snow route after the 6th gym, probably some others too. Yeah, I've never noticed that for Oxford. You have a point. I don't think that team really wants to know though, because all of you know is just one stupid ass circle. That map design is by far the worst thing about that game. Sorry, Barack. It was just so lazy. Honestly, hard to defend the generation there. Don, I wrote you agree with me. All right, you butt buddy. Watch Pringles absolutely destroy this pile of names. Check this shit out. If this action design doesn't do it, I'm releasing Pringles. Tell your good stuff, Kennedy. Good. I feel like you're even more attached to Pringles than you are to Disney. I certainly love both, but Reading the goddamn detail there. The last these guys have fully evolved offensive line of this building. And your father's pleased with him. He doesn't need my support to try and things on. Pringles, on the other hand, is still learning what it means to be on this team.
Yeah, honestly, Joe, you bring up a good point here. Our team is actually rounding out incredibly well here. Pringles and Titan are new programs. Ruby and Mendo workers. Scott isn't too far off becoming a step out as well.
All right, honestly, I'm holding the whole energy. This year's the moment. Yeah, that being said, Obama, we still have to go get George's crappy Pokemon. He told us to put on the team. When does that show up again? Oh, right, I forgot about all that, Obama. Yeah, so the track caddy's right here, isn't he? Yeah, sure is right on screen right there. Like the fact that it still reflects a shadow on the wall. Like what light looks like that.
No, I have no clue. There aren't many things that can just turn invisible in the room. And we're saying you did this problem.
Hey, George, what's up?
I literally just told you that.
What?
Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
Anyway, guys, just wanted to hop in here and say I'm wanting to do Pokemon Fighter, and I wanted to get some suggestions on another game to play. But hey, look at this, guys. So I think this is becoming obvious by the discussion of the party composition and the completely coincidental timing of George's arrival here. We will be, in fact, casting this Techleon to be the final member of our team.
Joe, real quick. Get some damage off the vision power so we can figure out what movies is. Let's do something good. Ooh, that's a good point, Donald. I'll do that when it's underway.
Probably should have Thunderwave first in case it's ground, but whatever.
Okay, and Dragon Knight, that's honestly awesome. That gives us like no coverage. Imagine taking Dragons and his power.
Well, I haven't heard of those guys in a while. Obama, are you a fan of their music? Oh, who? Imagine Dragons. Yeah, Imagine Dragons these nuts across your face.
Good one, George. Obama, you really are just way too goddamn easy.
No, Donald, I just didn't think you guys would still be making these stupid-ass jokes in 2023. No joke is stupid if it gets a laugh from the boys of Long.
Hey, hey,
Well, I did just respectfully shut up.
yeah, seriously, man, this is going to be something.
I can promise you it wouldn't have been. Anyway, Joe, do you have a Techleon nickname for you? Y'all, it will be called, and will be tested. It will live on by the people who are inspired.
So I don't know if you noticed, but the Carolina Hurricanes are going through some pretty difficult times in that. You have Freddie Anderson, who is likely to start today on the second half of the back-to-back. But this season, this guy is at an .868 save percentage and 3.27 goals against. Freddie, what happened to you? He is totally a shell of his former self. And things got a lot more dire for the Hurricanes when they announced that Fyodor Pacheco
When?
season-ending surgery. Likely, at least, that's the verdict here from all the websites and all the reporting here. Pacheco placed on the IL, likely out for the rest of the season for Carolina. That means one brand new team as the main guy, essentially, for his team at the moment. He's 27 years old, and he has just been lights out so far. Do not disrespect the pussy over here, as he has a 911 save percentage, 208 goals against, 15 games. He is 13-1-1. He has been amazing after finally being given NHL playing time. However, it's just one guy. So let's talk about some options that folks are linking to the Carolina Hurricanes from my favorite teams. Here's a tweet from one Reagan Hatt that responds to yesterday's NHL news that Pacheco is set to undergo a surgery of a lower body injury and is likely done for the year. The Vancouver Canucks have to be making phone calls to Carolina about lengthening Odemko, right? let's see some serious moves here. The replies go out there and say, hey, I love Demko, but the Canes have a lot of assets. Get a first and several prospects, with Leggett and Tolopilo to run the net for the Canucks. Petitions in the first for Thatcher Demko, the tank is alive. You know what? Here's the thing. I'll say this about Thatcher Demko and the Carolina Hurricanes. If he were to be traded, obviously Demko would fetch a lot more of a return than Kevin Leggett. And I'm just saying that based off that
Shit, he's back.
it's the
Wow.
skill set.
Look out for this player of all fucking games.
Demko is better than Leggett. He was nominated for a best on. Like the tank, well, I do think there is value there. You have to think about Thatcher Demko's injury history and his unreliability to stay in the crease. I would probably still assume that Demko gets more in the trade versus Leggett. He's making like $2.5 million right now, but he will make $8.5 for the next 2 seasons. You know, Thatcher Demko himself absolutely hates the narrative that he is injury prone, even though it really is the truth at this stage. I mean, nobody's going out there and saying that Demko is a consistent 50 wins a season kind of guy at this stage in his career. He was that 2 years ago, and it's why he was nominated for the Vezina, but these past few years have been very rough for Demko's overall health. We know that he wants to get back to form, right? But if he goes over to a team like Carolina to be obviously now, they're also interested in having a conversation about that because they're already dealing with some injuries. But either way, Demko, I would say that in a fully healthy, perfect world, Demko is a better goaltender than Freddie Anthony. He is better this year than Chekhov. Is he better than Bussy right now? I'm not really too sure. But Thatcher Demko, obviously, very, very talented goaltender. If the Hurricanes have any sort of interest in this kind of guy, then we have to take it all over. Let's not get in there for the period. Run the team for the rest of the season. Leggett is not that bad, but he needs Thatcher Demko. And if it results in more Vancouver Canucks losses, then I think that benefits the greater good of all time. Here's the thing, right? You have Thatcher Demko on this team. He signed on to again at 2029. The Vancouver Canucks don't want to be competitive right now. They want to take a step back for at least a season or two via Thomas Strance and the Athletic. What is going to help you on this team more? Thatcher Demko and his game-saving brilliance right now, as limited as it can be via sample size, or whatever draft return or pick return or prospect return you can get by trading Demko even now. Long term, what's going to help the team more? You can possibly assume that if the team's focused on the long term and trying to look towards the future, Thatcher Demko is 30 years old. He can fetch you the Axel right now. That being said, Demko will not be seen as the only target for the Carolina Hurricanes to be looking at. Let's go over to the article published on the Redskins Insider.com by TradeDeadline this morning that talks about Redskins goaltender and Talbot emerging as a trade target to the Hurricanes amidst of late injury. The Detroit Red Wings veteran goaltender Dan Talbot has emerged as a trade target for the Hurricanes with injuries striking the lineup. The two best teams in the East, the Red Wings and the Hurricanes, could end up becoming trade partners due to new circumstances in Carolina. Indeed, the teams announced yesterday that the Chekhov suffered a lower body injury that will likely force him to miss the rest of the year. Phillips head coach Scott Brittamore opened up about the situation in the recent press conference. The Chekhov decided to have surgery, so he's probably going to be out for the year. He didn't feel right all season. As he knows, he's been dealing with it all year. He's been feeling great. That's the hard part. He was fighting through it, but he just doesn't want to continue that way. So we'll get a fix and go from there. We're going to need Anderson. The luxury we had is no longer a luxury anymore. We have 3 guys to rely on. Now, it's no. It's pretty clear. We've got these 2 guys. They've got to figure it out. That's been kind of our motto all year here. No matter who is going in, we've got to figure it out. So with that in mind, this article's going out there and linking the Detroit Red Wings and Ryan and Talbot to the Hurricanes just add more stability in net to get that third guy back. Set to his free agency after the current season, the 38-year-old goalie Cam Talbot only earns $2.5 million a year. And even if Talbot faced some struggles this season, he could easily backstop a Hurricanes team with their shutdown defense. And that's actually a pretty good part of the conversation, too. Carolina is a lot better defensively than the Hurricanes, than the Red Wings are, and that has been a pretty bad issue in the past few months for this Red Wings team. Defensive stability, the quantity and the quality of shots headed towards the Red Wings goaltender is why they have such a low PDO number in the first weeks of the season. Cam Talbot, all things considered, is not doing as well as he did last year. Last year he was at a 901 save percentage in 47 games. This year, similar goals and games, but mainly when the save percentage is down at 889. We know this guy can be good. He's at an 11.62 record with positive contribution. But Cam Talbot is going through a pretty recent stretch where Gibson is straight up outperforming him. It puts him in a tough spot, unfortunately. And if you wanted to say that the Red Wings could use Sebastian Costa in there, they want to give him an opportunity because there are a bunch of guys in the Grand Rapids Griffins that are rotating into the
Why can I get drop hits? For some fucking reason.
We still have Augustine waiting in the wings for the NCAA.
There we go.
Goaltending now and in the long term does not seem to be an issue for the Red Wings. Does that make a guy like Cam Talbot expendable?
We're harder than the Predators right now in the standings. Oh, they're down there. Okay, never mind then.
Make no mistake about it, friends. This guy deserves his flowers and then some. Because I'm not gonna lie, I, like many of you, am very surprised to have seen parts of the return of the Quinn Hughes trade come off to Vancouver
guys.
as big of an impact as they are. Today I want to talk about probably the least significant piece of the trade package that Vancouver got. A guy that was seen on many as just a throw-in. Oh, okay, there's another prospect added in the deal. Nice. Good for Vancouver to get an extra guy. But right away, he was not seen as a main piece behind Steve Williams, Marco Rossi, the first round pick. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Liam Fulgren today. Because he deserves his own Josh Darr video. Straight up. The second of the tweet posted behind Noah Strang yesterday after the Canucks defeated the Seattle Kraken in a shootout, courtesy of Liam Fulgren in the shootout heroics. Tiny sample size, but over is scoring 3.11 points per 60 at 5-5 with the Vancouver Canucks. He had 0 total points before the trade. Now that is a pretty ridiculous stat, but it gets even crazier when you see some of the replies prior to yesterday's game against the Seattle Kraken. Over the scoring at the same 5v5 rate with the Canucks as Nico Rantanen and Matthew Nyes. Goodness gracious, you want to talk about guys who are taking their opportunities and running. Liam Fulgren is doing exactly that. In a way that we didn't really expected to see out of him. Yes, it's true, Fulgren is always going to have some value. I mean, 6'1", 187, overall pick quite a while back in 2022. The big scouting report on Fulgren was that he was a pretty versatile, all situations, two-way sniper winner.
I need to keep an eye on the Predators, though, because I have their first-round pick, and they're at the bottom of the league, so I have to keep an eye on that from them.
But he wanted to play the game. He's able to control the pace of play, his puck protection, his roving around the ozone, his sniping, and his offensive versatility. There was a lot to like out of Fulgren as a prospect, and of course, we all recognize part of the reason he's able to get such high positive results in his draft-eligible seasons and the years after that in Sweden was because Fulgren was playing with some pretty talented prospects in his own right. His line race for Noah Osland, who was now in the Buffalo Sabres organization, and Jonathan McKinnon-Lawson, who was a fellow Vancouver Canucks guy. You can assume that the Oakland Kalamaki exchange will probably get started back up at some point in these guys' NHL careers. But Oakland doing the thing that he did in developed before coming over to North America and being a part of the Minnesota Wild. He was progressing pretty steadily, and I think a lot of Wild fans were excited to see what he could do. Inevitably, he had 37 points in 41 games with the Iowa Wild last season and 5 points in 24 Minnesota Wild games, but he was not able to take that next step and be a regular Minnesota Wild that was able to control play and score points like he did in the AHL. He had 0 points in 18 games in Minnesota, which is quite remarkable when you consider how much of a wagon the Wild have been this year. Ryan Hartman, Zuccarello, Goldie, Murad, Trent, Tarasenko, Kaprizov. They're a team with Russian roots that have happened to get the best out of most of these guys, but Oakland was not able to do that. Sure, you could say Wild had an issue at center, especially with the departure of Rossi, and Joel cannot be the one-stop-shop solution, but overall, Oakland just was not able to get that production to go his way this season. He was not able to translate any of that success this year. Well, in Vancouver, the guy has 4 points in 7 games. That is over half a point a game. And if you do the math over a full 82, that is a 47-point pace. Not bad for a guy who is essentially playing his rookie season in the National Hockey League. And I say that knowing that he had 24 games played last year, but I do think that cutoff is 25 games, so that he can still progress, right? He was 21 years old after all. I'm sitting here thinking about Oakland's guy who, if he is able to get everything going his way, maybe Oakland is never going to be a chasing going scoring 100 points or 99 points in a year, but maybe he can max it out as a 65-point guy. 30 goals, 35 assists, maybe if he gets to 70 games, that's a highlight. And if he goes to the Kalamaki, if they're able to get that chemistry going back up, that could really help the Kalamaki's game out too. That guy could be a 40-goal scorer. He's got the pure shot to be able to handle it. This, of course, sets the standard for Vancouver to potentially make a trade with the Buffalo Sabres, acquire Noah Osland, bring back that Swedish trio, and maybe Vancouver can continue with a Pettersson, a Nylander, and Ogren of the Karamaki, and Osland, and whichever other Swedes you want to say can be brought.
Finally, we're all on again. Time for us to actually play over coach. I've been waiting so damn long for this, especially since you had your little emerald cream for this show. It's kind of like a non-cream, you're not the same thing. Oh, come on, Joe, let's not play semantics here. We are not about to discuss the difference between ointment and cream. Either way you fix on it, right? We're about to start playing. Yeah, and because of your little disappearing act, I was subject to gaming with that snake too. Come on, Donald, just let it go. You know what Bill's fault is in for it. Besides, it's not even like he was doing his closing. Bill and I was too small. He was, hey, he was on the ground and there was a lot. Sounds like my mouth is good. Yeah, it doesn't. Sure, this is only like the matter. Whoa, this guy's thinking about the news now. What? Bill, you better swap the batteries in those hearing aids. You know damn well that is not what I said. Listen, all I'm saying is Joe needs to start up with. Oh, you really think so, Johnny? Oh, yeah. Of course, now you're defending Joe after he busted out the most racist line. Well, Rock, you completely set yourself up there, don't you? Sorry. All I said was my grandma Maggie was listening. You're the one who said nobody likes your Maggie. You need to just stop and think for a second. How that could be heard by a bunch of old dudes with clean sense. Yeah, Barry, I'm just a little bit more sad than hearing that doesn't mean nothing by it. Whatever. We're wasting time. We need to be throwing
Big fucking win right there against Florida.
Besides, it's time for another presidential match. Still, I maintain the belief that no needs no purpose and a belief that the future for how badly I spanked his wife. Metaphorically, when I do, I'm not here beating women, so don't even make that joke. In the 2016 election, Donald, the rest of the news is not funny. Anyway, don't segue. Didn't Melania tell you about her first time flying Todd Zombies the other night? Her first time flying Todd Zombies? toolbox in case I need them. This is fair. That's why I remember coming Canada's first and whatnot. And going to the call, that's not an invasion. Things happen. Talk. Or from the brand was falling down. It's good to know. They were Brexit. That made it the case.
Listen, Don, don't freak out. But Milan will use your computer to play zombies. Okay. This is my wife. Why would I say that this is like your computer? Yeah.
No, dude, you don't understand. They were playing Exit Zombies.
Oh my God, what? Why not so they play the dance forfeit?
I'll say it's my fault. Laura told me to get all the babies on. And for some reason, it didn't cross my mind to ask her what game they were going to play. Obviously, I was suggesting something like CO3, but yeah, I kind of had a switch to go dementia moment there.
I don't really think that's what it is. So they all have a lot of fun. So really, that's all that matters, right?
I guess I agree. Hey, with the guest Michelle on my back about video games for good, then it's worth it.
I just can't wait to use my computer to play the dance forfeit. I gotta get a new one. Just what it takes me.
John, the big utility fund. Now let's all hop on Tina.
All right, boys. I'm still y'all with the John. It's still a John. Still down. Press the camera.
Had a cap on it. Last time we tried to play this, we literally asked if we could switch to the DO3 version instead. That's actually the idea. Switch. What? No, we can't switch. The whole point is that we're playing Black Ops 1. Relax, Eric. You shouldn't have to do. We know how long you can wait to play this, and now we're up. Although, technically, Joe agreed on all of it, so we're not going to say anything. But I guess I didn't expect you to fine. I did that.
Switch 3 to what? I don't remember 3. But enough about that. It's
Man, it's really good to be done. Although Jesus might have to be the high end.
yeah, I gotta whip out the process.
If you start putting the default number of people 55, it's a good idea. Much better. Yeah, I don't know why the default number will be this stuff when it's over the codec. But if it's the things in the console command that keep on them.
Wait, how do I do it again? My gun is really big on my screen too. So you gotta hit the key above tab, then type in CD underscore FOB, that's the field that you were on. Okay, PC underscore FOB, and then what you can. Well, my game is super zoomed in now.
Now 10, you down to 100.
Wait, I might actually like to see here to see what my favorite vision. Ah, yes, there it is. That's starting wall weapon in this game.
Apparently, once you're stopping, you're part of the engine off the wall.
Okay, you don't want to hit it. Disgusting. Now, hold on, let me fix this SOP so I can go fast.
I lost it. How many times do I have to remind you that the effort is not happening so fast? Oh, by the way, I want to off the wall, but the spike is
Wow. Let's do that. Okay, seriously, I cannot say something about this anymore. So why does it sound like that? It sounds like 10 nights later than usual. I need to think it's possible. Very good. Back me up here. You guys heard of this too, right?
I'll do that for sure. However, you want to talk about someone sounding rich, you have to fucking testosterone or something. And it's making you bored of you. Say something for wrong. Oh, great. Really doing this again. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing anything to my voice but talking normal. Johnny, don't let George gaslight you into yourself. Do I actually sound different? What the fuck? No, I'm not saying that.
Wait a sec. Why did the wall say you wear the 6th? They're talking about January 6th.
But out, Bill, very pathetic to Donald Patel.
You want to run the just say it. Besides, I'm pretty sure your voice sounds normal to me. Jordan's mind is probably going away to the Joe here. But I just need to hear that one line to confirm it.
Oh, whatever. If it's what you gotta hear, so be it. I will. Happy now?
Oh, yes, very happy.
Well, Donald, so does it sound weird or not?
It sounds like rock. It's a bit of a nice man. This is what it's all about. Let me look at the
I will say. I will say. Donald, you piece of shit. You really put that and put me on the Discord soundboard?
Oh, there, this is 24 karat gold right here. I don't know why I didn't pick up this number.
And now you're at my window ceilings office too. You just work a good end with this stuff.
Sorry, what was that about?
I will say. That's what I'm feeling a drip stronger. Down with it. Just don't under the down and not lying. Hold on, not afraid that's why I'm dying. This is very full-time contract. Never got me for this.
No, it could be working with AI to make your voice into confidence it's showing you. So they take your voice and make you say whatever you want. I've been very you so realistic I make some difference.
So I sent my new team cyber hackers to shut them down. Whoa, he's on the medical. What does any of that have to do with Mark Zuckerberg? Speaking of which, I should hit him up. It's been a while since I last saw the Mark. Exactly. Sorry, Mark. I don't even know the name of the country, but now anyway, someone needs to open up the first floor here. Any volunteers? How about you? Hey, open the door. Well, we're going to spam the soundboard. I already know how to do it. Well, that's no fun. I can't promise you if you cooperate. Wait, who am I kidding? Of course I can. I look straight. I look straight. George, please, don't you have an advance system? You got to delete that. I put them together. As soon as you delete one, two more respond to the place. I'll let the type of type of it. Sorry, there's nothing I can do. You know what? It is what it is. I'm not going to let Donald do it just for me, because after all, we want the best song and that's the whole time. You know, the toast black ops, yeah, okay, yes, I have to. Just hang on for a second, Donnie. You got to do it in dog first. Good, that's the way about it. Yeah. I didn't get sworn. It was the one dog in front of me. Like that makes it any better. That's why you don't use the M14, Jack. Lift your gang on top of the chicken. You've got to be kidding me. I'm down. You're seriously telling me Joseph Love and invite Junior is the last guy? Barry, I do not know that you're a single thing about a dog in front of the clutch the famous ever again. Bro, I had to drag it on. If you had to start it, no wonder we went down. Joe's the only one who has an actual gun. Well, technically, I got the M14, so not only Joe. Yeah, you're down. I guess that settles for it. I'll give this M14 debate now. Hurry up and provide us for it. So I'm worried, guys. You just got to take out these dogs with my coat and giver. Supervising clutches. No. No. Yeah, personally, if it were me there, I would have clutched. You were literally already down. You could have clutched that more than you clutched the World Trade Center. That's what fuel go with the 9/11 go. Just say, you crashed and burned trying to arrest Donnie. Okay, dump the package, fellas. That's the process for the book. Whoa, what the hell? No way. We only got the round five. That was barely even a place. We're running it back. We have to. Yeah, honestly, I'm scared. That was just a lot. Like I said earlier, I've been waiting months to play this. No doubt I'm going to count that traffic lot. Fine. Let's start it up and try to All right, now this time, let's actually focus on the game and not go down before we get the double digits. Hey, I was the last one alive, so you guys can say the OT song. You have to go, you have to stage in Olympia. Once I hit the box, it'll be a piece of cake. Definitely can't forget the interaction of all the DJ logs for the music pieces. Hell yeah, 115 is probably the best song in all of time. That is absolutely false. How can you say that when Lullaby for a Dead Man exists? Oh, we'll get real down here. No way to figure out Dumpy's song is Lullaby for a Dead Man. That was a pretty good one. And a classic. But my favorite is probably Shepherd of Fire. That sevenfold really went all in. You guys are all good. Best cut Dumpy's song is Carrie. Maybe if you're listening to music that makes you hear. No, you probably like that new song from that girl that was dressing up like she was in shit. What was her name? JoJo something. JoJo's bizarre adventure for some weird shit. Oh, you're talking about JoJo's sweet one? I heard it. Not really fun. And you enjoy her early work. All that grandpa makes you think that you're going to take to yourself. That doesn't even have anything to do with God. For real, what the hell do you expect of her? This is, okay, folks, round five again, and I am not enough to get most of the dogs in the song that's holding me up to this. So, I'm not thanking her out there, I can finally get the other support. I love it. So, I know the people there are phenomenal really. So, he's just going to keep using that stupid sound clip forever, man. I really feel I get a better one. Maybe I can snag me a book with me too. Well, really, that is like voice on it, like the phone song. I have to be able to set it up when I say, ooh, let me see that. I love you, Daddy. Good. You know, it's not the same when you want to put on. No, I think Bill has a great idea. Over to replace mine with his line. Now, yours is just too perfect, Barry. Anyway, thank you for your time. I love Bill. Bill, if you were my part for some time. Unbelievable. Does anyone know when the box is 63 almost out of it? The box is like 63, wasn't it? It's 5 years. My goal is as far as the as can. I even bought this for very 14 weeks. I'm going to get this mindset for the 14 weeks. What is the
Yeah, it looks like the box is in the alley. Well, I just learned that I absolutely don't see essential. I just win every single shot of that wrong. Joe, the shot to the second there. Oh, come on, I don't need such a few shots. I'm going to the job. And then of course, I don't do that. And I got two. I think they don't miss. How would you like it to be introduced into the taste of 9mm olive oil? What's the what do you think? No, what for Steve? So there is no way because it's a threat of gun violence that has to come from the black guy, right? You're a real piece of work, guy. You know that? I sure am. Thanks for the heads up on the next channel, homie. You don't need to look. You got to be putting in the N73 law. I'd rather not have a gun at all. Yeah, here's the box. I've only got 7 points. Well, you better get used to it. If being a friggin' broke, you gotta stop and cops off. If those hundreds of millions you be going to take by the force, that wasn't like 400 million. I hate to say it, but it might be some downside. I think the bond on that was like 175 million. Yeah, thanks to your buddy Don Hankey and his insurance company, Night Specialties or whatever it's called. Oh, yeah. As if you don't know. Can you stop poking out my legal business? Hey, it's not a personal, man. Just keeping up with what's going on. Like that gas quarters case. I mean, how can I not when a guy literally self-immolated outside the court? They don't let you say. Some turn themselves into a non-phone zombie from Canada. Damn, Johnny, that is extremely messed up. Seriously, way up front. President really got this public review, David Becker, to embellish stories about your opponents in the 2016 election. Come on, if people aren't buying the total bullshit about me on the daily, I'll tell you what's not bullshit. You paying $130,000 to Bobby Daniels to keep your little lucky in your secret. Okay, seriously, what the hell is this? We play God brothers with this big fun Donald. You want me to sell there and have fun Donald? Go out there and have everything yourself. Why? And if you look at the crackhead son's book, it has to come to I did acknowledge her, so you're not even right about that. Of course you did. You can only keep your mouth shut about silly. So, stop that. Wait a sec, Donald became happy in Iraq, but you didn't even say anything about Jordan. Hey, I'm just getting back to doing the next slide. Like a deal. I would not be bragging about being slimy with them, but I guess, then again, of course you would. We made graduation. Damn it. Okay, I guess you got a phone, but still. Anyway, enough of the politics. We're only on round 6. We need to take this zombie slaying to high gear and get the town. Forget that. I don't even have a gun I want to upgrade yet. The ballistic knife? Oh, fuck me sideways. Take it down, no balls, balls. I mean, I'll take it for a few minutes to rack up some points, but ain't no way I'm going to keep this. How's it done? Obviously, it would be nice to revive. Congress is known for one of the sacrifices better than the group. Oh, crap. Look. Jeez. This would be a perfect time to have it done. Or I could just revive you normally like I'm doing now. So there you go, Joe. There's the sacrifice. I tried to rescue you. Got me killed. It's all right. You got the kill coming to revive you guys. I got Brown and George. Where's Joe? I got it. Also, Brock, are you still using the starting pistol? Yeah, my MP40 is out of ammo, but I don't want to get rid of the 1911 because I'm keeping them to get the Mustang salaries. That is the real Obama gun. Oh my gosh, guys, I just got the ray gun. Looks like I'm the captain of the Ray Gun Boys Club this time. Well, you were the first to get one, so it's only fair. I got the commando gun. Definitely not mad about that. You guys will all refer to me as the Dread Pirate Robbers from that movie, The Princess Bride. Not to be confused with the other Dread Pirate Robbers, that guy who sold drugs on the dark web. I think Hunter took up that man. Inconceivable. What is? It's a quote from the movie. How can you expect us to call you the Dread Pirate Roberts when you can't even remember what is quite possibly the most famous line from it? Fact. Either that or the classic. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. I'm going to be honest. I've actually never seen The Princess Bride. What? Well, I definitely know what movie we're watching at the next sleepover. Are you serious? The Dragonov? At that point, I might as well just keep the ballistic knife. Yeah. I'm just using the MP4 to rack up points. I don't even have perks yet, so I've got some grinding to do here. I just bought Speed Cola, and I already have Jug. Having the commando sure helps out a ton. That's really great. I'm glad you're enjoying having perks and a good gun and not being stuck in the depths of poverty like I am. Well, it's probably because we're still using the ballistic knife. What's it as the MP40? Why don't you do it? Well, obviously I was using it to get alien equipment from opponents. Everything takes on as well as that. But it's really good to use some other back to have another to upgrade to the building. Now would be a nice time to pop a couple extra feathers instead of start pushing window drop out things and more security stuff to put on about how they do it. Some there, they it's just a little perk over here, holding up with a gambling Batman. We're complaining about how you have to actually play the game to get good gear. You like to use those kind of everything handed to you, that's fine, but here, there is none of that. No gobble jumps, the witches, afterlife experience, the moving doors for food, or glitch spots for you to take advantage of. There's raw zombie skill.
No glitch stuff, because I wasn't going to focus on it because I used to get salty about it, but now I've changed my mind. You know what to do, don't keep good, don't stay next to me.
I have nothing like the classic dog around glitch stuff. Everyone's done this at least once. This is new, Barry.
I still remember the first time I watched Sarsaparilla Sam do this glitch. It was so exciting. His dog was
Joe, that's pretty much goes with our glitch, not to read about the time. And Donald, you really think I'm going to care about this obvious glitch spot? Maybe it would work for the entire game, but it's only really useful on dog rounds. So I actually think it's not bad. This will go ahead and stay in multiplayer at least.
That was unexpected, but I'll take it. Now we need to make this round get to the next level and have it play.
I think this was the last one.
Yep, finally through that. Thank you, Donald. I was going to begin with reloading my range. When you sit in your rooms and you know a lot about things, and you're going to learn
We'll see about that. The American people are going to give you 4 more years.
Oh, this guy can say falls and he's living on the side market right now.
of course he is. We all know that he's doing the whole conversation too, and he said that he had to come up and say himself. It is important to like concepts for us to remember that one time we wrote that big little elephant down the chocolate bottle building and it's going to drop in.
What? Bill, that is not something that you did. That sounds like some kind of dream you had.
Isn't it ice cream cones that the king of all ice cream maybe wasn't real?
All right, that's quite enough of Ben and Jerry ethics. The original rambling for me. How about we talk about something else? Hey, you guys watched the new Fallout show?
I did. And that's what it's such a big one.
Really?
It's whoa.
Of course, but you didn't give it a fair shot, did you?
I was trying to, but of course they had to make the main character a married kid. They shoved gender politics into the brotherhood of steel. Made the whole thing open capitalism instead of parents striking first. And totally retconned the story of his
Oh, wow, okay. Well, this doesn't mean I actually like it yet.
What are we talking about? Fallout 1? Yeah, there's got some okay music to maybe I can see the track.
No, Fallout has a video game. Have you never played them?
No, I do vaguely remember playing it. You have to leave the vault to find these water chips. You don't bust it, right? They made a show of that game.
Oh, talking about the original Fallout from 1996. You know what? Just forget it. We're on to check it out. Don't listen to God. It's worth a shot. You see, I still have to get around to watching the rest of the Mr. Season 2. Apparently there's some sort of knockoff Spider-Man cameo in it, so that sounds pretty cool.
Invincible, like that guy from Fortnite.
He's in Fortnite. He's not from Fortnite. He's from the comic Invincible.
Sorry to interrupt the lesson, but I just get the concept of good guys, right?
Ray Gun Boys! Ray Gun Boys! Ray Gun Boys!
Damn it, I just got John's ballistic knife and put it back into the box. Thanks for that. I bought fuel kit, so I can try for a ray gun, although I guess it will be my third gun. Hopefully I don't go down. All right, suppose I get the teddy bear first in. Seriously, Rock, you come over here while I'm putting the box and you move it.
Oh yeah, it's totally my fault I got the bear. What do you want me to say? I'm sorry, Daddy Bush. Guys, it's okay. Don't fight. There's a fire still right here. Everyone take it to a box.
John, did something.
So you bet I did.
I'm sorry, Daddy Bush. I'm sorry, Daddy Bush.
I love you. I hate you so much right now, Don.
That's not what you said a second ago.
Although I did put it going to ray gun. So I'll have to continue to follow it. Let's go. I can sound too. There's that boy from other cities.
This was most of the things
I think your current character fits the book.
Ray Gun Boys.
Do that, Joey. Well, now that we're on into ray gun and other good guns, let's say that's the point and go to Pakistan. I've already done an attack on my guns, but I should probably grind up a with my other two.
couldn't be a better time for double points. Thanks for having picked that up.
Actually, that would be to pick it up. You can thank me by the reading so stupid sound good.
That's my fault. It's going to take a lot more than that for me to let go of these.
I love you.
I'm sorry, Daddy Bush. Wait, where's the one of me? I did the perfect line for you.
Joe, I told you I wasn't going to push that.
Whatever, don't delete it then. Let's just focus on getting enough points to go to pass. All right, well, it looks like we all have enough points to upgrade at least one gun, and then there's Moneybags Obama. Did anyone link the teleporter? Y'all really can't stand to see a black man with motion. Just kidding. But yeah, I linked it a while ago. Everyone get in.
But don't you mean to get on? Like Sesame Meek Mill?
I'm here, let's teleport. Dude, Meek Mill makes me sound like the straightest man alive. You, however, that was a pretty good impression, Doc. Sure wish I could flip that and put it on the soundboard like that.
Barack, you know, if you had Discord night, you should make a sound good, you know, instead of play it in this one, right? What the hell, George? Why are you telling me?
Sorry, Don, but it kind of deserves it for the damn equipment. Oh, man, thank God my shadow play was on, and I still have this old Breaking Bad fan server I used to run.
I'll stop. I'll delete the one for you and you delete that.
Yeah, I don't ever want to hear me saying you know what ever again.
Done. Now let's just slow down some back of that and put this whole sound like, oh no, I'm in my little stage here too, but it's all creepy and there's blood everywhere.
When you put it with that godforsaken noise already, I just took the snap in my own ear to make me get my joy from boxing.
I'm sorry that you made me so sad and scared. Like, what if something happened? So whenever I'm still better than face to face to do.
Oh, man, finally sent this focus thing. Yeah, well, better have just keep it funny.
Something goes in song for slave feedback, Steve. You said it for me.
Okay, I will leave the song in part and still like care.
Wait, it's about the hit.
There's like no zombies around me.
Probably because I got the moment to spawn with it. I'm just jamming out blasting these mud buckets with my liquor.
When I post that, I only have just a few posts. Plus, I got to pass my radio.
I'm not stopping you from getting fun. You need some. Go find some zombies.
Man, Lane Sigmund really went all out in the vocals for these songs.
You know, but you guys are like, hey, all thanks. No friend. I just got a fire signal.
I'm all set gun-wise, so I'm ready to take down the hitters, although I guess I could try to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But definitely something handy for the higher round. Wait, no way. Got the summertime. I might honestly have to switch out my rig up for this.
Rock, you can't leave the radio for this club.
I'm sorry, Joe, but I have to do it. I'm starting my own group, the Thunder Gang.
We're like the Thunder Gang.
But I'm nobody else needs to join the group. Only one person can have the Thunder Gang. Well, I know that. I'm not a kid. It's just making a joke that you guys are in the rig gun for us. But
I thought I remember the group something to do. Seriously, don't say it all of my invasion.
oh, 50 dramatic, Joe. If you pulled the Thunder Gun, you would have taken it. You don't know. Keep telling yourself that. I'm going to hit the teleporter to go past my Thunder Gun and put this film reel in the camera.
Wait a minute, I almost have enough stuff for anything.
Okay, well, hurry up.
Let's go.
I'm ready. Oh, shit, I'm getting smashed.
Oh, no. What's that about?
Well, there goes my Thunder Gun.
I'm nasty. Sorry, girls. I was trying to get me to but the Thunder Gang is disbanded.
I guess I'm going to have to read my own first two. Damn, can't believe the rock went down this 115. That's the day.
At least now we have to get to join the radio for this one. All right, so that's what I'm saying. So I'm just going to build. Whoever's coming better, get in the teleporter, will be left behind. I'm going to pack a punch this H321. It's pretty good. Are you sure about that, Joe?
Whatever, I'm popping my way up.
Hey, what are you going to make? Pretty solid combo I'm running right now.
Really wish I was up there upgrading the Thunder Gun with you guys instead of down here. That was just fine on the person.
Oh, how the tables turn. Third, rolling and going on. I mean, the biscuit night, but now you're the broken.
It was common justice for leaving the rig gun boys.
Yeah.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, crap. I'm teleporting back. I almost forgot to put my filter in the camera. Oops, I forgot I had one of those while I did some creepy dentist.
Not really a big deal. Film reels just change what's showing on the big screen.
Well, I'm basically set for the rest of the game. Just got to fill out my first loadout and ready for high analysis.
I'm in the same boat. I don't know what's up there, but now I see it's hurt.
Yeah, finally some more high round. It's been forever since we did high round.
I'm since Donald completely sabotaged the classified runs.
That is so faithful. First of all, I did not sabotage classified. And second, we played World of War, which was technically we're aiming for high round.
You know, we barely got it for 20 sometimes. It even worse on the run. But there wasn't really much in the way of high round.
Yeah, but World of War was extremely bare bone. High round with 4 players is pretty rough, especially for a bunch of old users like us.
Well, we still got to play Tino, Newman, and Bill Reed, so I guess we'll see how we fare on those matches.
Not really looking forward to that. Well, 30 is probably like the first, but not Chino Newman. That's gonna suck. You're wrong, Donald. Chino Newman is actually got the Easter egg where you dig up that tree and you get a free Wonder Waffle.
Still, there's so much wrong with what you just said.
That greatest digging Easter egg is only on the mobile of World of War Zombies. That's not on Easter.
Yeah, and it's called the Wonder Waffle, not the Wonder Waffle.
Oh man, 115 is old. Really wish you could play the music Easter egg more than once in this game. At least they had. Oh, I mean, I hope we could get round 30 at least. I got the Thunder Gun back, so I'm fully fitted out. The Thunder Gun lives on. I guess we'll see.
You guys just should be practicing out. You could have been around 115 like somebody could do.
We like cheated and do. That ring was beyond safe and that scumbag with an entire 16 career off of it.
And then you can scam the fans and see them still gambling.
You mean like you scam the fans with the shitty NFT? So the CSGO thing made me confirm that the round 115 run feeding is disappeared. A million theory, that's sure.
Nah, dude, that guy 100% faked that run. His character literally switches multiple times, which is not even possible in a single run. In fact, he probably cheated in the 1v1 against Wings too. People say he has it on.
Oh, well, it's not out here defending him for the death.
I'm just saying he's set up and City in the fraud.
No, Johnny, this just fucking sucks at Call of Duty. So wait, who do you think it's worse? When did redemption or Dark Side Phil? Oh man, 100% Dark Side Phil. At least Blinken has the decency to fly like a little baby and throw his controller and rage. But DSP will just sit there and blame everything but himself and act like the dick.
I know! The Vancouver Canucks just won! They... Seattle into the gutsy comeback victory. The game where actually probably should not have won based off of the chances of it going either way. But now, you gotta get back to reality here and start talking about some of the names that we in great discussions involving this team. We've got 3 names for you, 3 different conversations, all sparked up by various reports on social media, Elliot Friedman and others. Starting with Jake DeBrusk over here. Yeah, great way to kick off this Vancouver Canucks trade update by talking about a guy whose value is probably at the lowest point it's ever been. Jake DeBrusk is 29 years old, $5.5 million a year till the end of 2032. He's here for a while, my friends, and he is going swimming. Last year, he had 48 points and 28 goals in 82 games played. This year, he is on pace for 38 points and 20 goals. He's only got 17 points this season, which, if he keeps up his pace, will be one of the lower producing years he has had in the National Hockey League. Say what you want about media interviews, how Jake DeBrusk says all the right things, he takes accountability for his struggles, and he emphasizes his desire to improve. That's all fantastic. But at the end of the day, this is what Elliot Friedman went out there and said on 32 Thoughts yesterday. This was about Jake DeBrusk getting benched. Elliot says people may think this is trade related, but Vancouver wanted new players, but it's way too early to go there. I don't know if you're jumping to that conclusion yet. Yeah. But I'm going to officially say that Jake DeBrusk is going to be pushed down. But, when you think about the Vancouver Canucks as a team that is in the quote-unquote mushy middle right now, and I say mushy middle, fully knowing that the team is one of the worst teams in the NHL standings-wise, but they have so many guys who are under this archetype of unproductive, supposedly top 6 caliber forward winger that is just not doing the job they should be doing. Take a look at what Josh Elliott said earlier before the Seattle game. The Canucks' 4 highest paid wingers are having a tough time right now. Brock Besser, 1 goal in his last 19. Jake DeBrusk, 1 goal in his last 16. Connor Garland, 1 goal in his last 12. Evander Kane, 1 goal in his last 11. You think about Vancouver being in a spot where they want to sell off the pending UFAs. But if you're going to contribute to a rebuild, you gotta go out there and at least trade away 1 or 2 of these other pieces that are signed on long term. Not best, or Warren, or Scorenbar, or Brand, or Warren Anderson, or maybe all of those guys. Say what you want about keeping players on the team that want to be here, that's great. But if the Vancouver Canucks commit to all of these guys, you have to ask yourself, okay, well, if you want to be competitive in a few years, if that's the plan, then I take a step back. Not contend this year, not contend next year. What's going to help you more in 2028, in 2029? Like Jake DeBrusk, who is 33 years old, or whatever prospects and picks you can get from trading you away today. These are all conversations that you can have about DeBrusk, about Besser, about Garland. Evander Kane is a given. He's heading for a bit. But he's food for thought. Now, speaking about what Elliot Friedman said on Jake DeBrusk and the trade situation, let's shift over to what he said also about pending UFA Keeper Sherwood. This guy should be traded soon, based off his contract status and based off the way the Vancouver Canucks are traded. Here's a tweet from N2.0. Elliot Friedman was reported that the Sharks have interest in Keeper Sherwood. A trade involving the Edmonton 2026 first and a prospect like Quentin Muskie or Philip Bystead makes sense. Insiders are saying the demand and therefore the ask for Sherwood is extremely high. Now, Vancouver getting a first-round pick for Sherwood. I thought that was already going to be a big hit. But if you think that a first and a Muskie, for example, I like that even more. Let's just see here, do we have Muskie? Yes, we do. Let's head over to Andrew's profile, saying that they got a few guys, 20-year-old left winger. He is a sub-1 for the Barracuda. It is such professional hockey this season. He's been very good. And he was a former 26 overall pick by San Jose 2 years ago. This I could live with. Because honestly, the first round pick from Edmonton, let's face it, is really quite low compared to other first round picks. So if the playoff team wants to go out there and show us some assets for sure, but if this becomes the standard, if this becomes the price, because the demand and the ask for Sherwood are both really high, I would love to live in a world where Vancouver can get a first round pick and a really nice first round caliber prospect who was drafted recently for Kiefer Sherwood. Musty is young too. He's 20 years old. He fits right in that timeline that most of all we are talking about. 20 to 23-year-olds, 20 to 25-year-olds. Musty is at the very beginning of that. He is going to continue to get better. You could also say that San Jose, as we've been seeing lately, they've got a
Whoa, what the fuck is that?
who's not on the team right now. Is there even room for Musty? Send him over to Vancouver. Give him a chance to shine in an organization that needs young talent. Speaking about young talent, let's go out there and talk about one guy that has started to surface the trade market conversations amongst the Canucks. He's young. Technically, it's Linus Karlsson. Now, here's the thing about Linus Karlsson. I say he's young, but I honestly think that his status of being young comes more from the reputation rather than his actual age. This is because, did you know Linus Karlsson is 26 years old? He was drafted by San Jose in the third round of the 2018 draft. And this is a guy who was never able to fully break on onto an NHL roster until essentially this year, where he's got 16 points in 35 games. That's on base for 20 goals and 36 total points, which is awesome. Great for a first-year NHL player. But he aided a pending UFA. Is it UFA status? Actually, let me see here. It actually might be an RFA, contract expiration. Oh, no, never mind. He is a UFA Group 6. When a contract ends with RFA status, and then becomes a Group 6 UFA, several conditions are met. Okay. It's tough to fully understand what's going on here. But Linus Karlsson has gotten really good results on the ice lately. Goal yesterday against Seattle, goal against San Jose, 3.9 against the Boston Bruins. And now you're starting to see comments like this made by Parker on DC. Septier Shaw tweeted out Carlson's 9th goal of the season, putting him in a 4-way tie with DeBrusque, Besser, and Drew O'Connor, their second most goals on the year behind Sherwood. Our said sell high. Selling high on Linus Karlsson would be getting a third-round pick in return. You might as well just keep it and sign it, Miles said. And you also have Sapster going out there and saying this. 26 years old is not young when it comes to players just starting to produce in the NHL. If you get a good offer from Karlsson, you take it. Now, there are folks going out there and disagreeing with this, but I do think it is reasonable to assume that if you wanted to build the Vancouver Canucks with a specific age demographic in mind, Linus Karlsson might just be at the very tail end of what is deemed young enough to be a part of that group. And I say that fully knowing that there are other players on the Vancouver Canucks like Jake DeBrusque, 29, Connor Barlow is also 29, Brock Besser, 29. He's got us all in that sort of a range when it comes to their age. So, what? Do you want to build a team that will become competitive once a 29-year-old Brock Besser is 32, 33? Is that kind of the way you want to build this squad? Okay, no, Besser's 28, I'm mistaken here. Is that the timeline for Vancouver? Wait until Connor Barlow and Jake DeBrusque are in their 30s to be competitive with one more time. You could make the same argument to Linus Karlsson, who is just approaching that similar age range too. But at the end of the day, this guy is DeBrusque, and whether or not he is actually trade bait at this time for the Vancouver Canucks. So with that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this Kiefer Sherwood update with San Jose? What are your thoughts on Linus Karlsson? Should he stay or should he go? And what are your thoughts on DeBrusque? Let us know in the comments all your opinions on this Vancouver Canucks trade update. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Mitchell Smiley. And bye.
All right, we're here to keep talking about Pokemon today. We're going to be ranking the most let's talk about a trade deadline. I got a feeling it's like a lot of them.
Do you have any complaints about where you place your favorite starter? Please send those your way to the president after all this responsibility.
Let's talk about it. Higher resolution of the starter to the time. Let's look at the design, viability, in-game, and overall response to the franchise. We're not ranking them based on their potential viability.
Let's get into
The real home group, the starters, the food, the position, and experts. All three of them are exceptionally well designed. Both the stars still have any unique things. Just from not a problem, solid resolution, which is good for good something that is wrong.
George was sitting when you said come in and you open. They know when you're supposed to. Don't get me wrong, I love the Bears, but it's no secret. The Bears are, they had a far greater impact on this ultimate trade. I think every Bears are just educated. That's the truth.
I think that I just think that those guys do finish the job. It's undeniable, it's not just not this guy. And it's not a job. It's not the word of the Bible. It's the franchise of the national match. It's definitely the Bears back.
The Bears are next year, the other two.
It's up to the Bears. I'm upset. I'm letting the Bears out. All good at the time they started with it. The focus on Andrews Florida, not this time. Going to go to Jersey George here. From Andrews' popularity can't be denied, but it appears the right next to it. Plus, I think Bulbasaur and Twitter have better design. You might see a dragon with Pokemon still around.
At least put John in front of next year.
Some of the other friends have stuff like that.
You might be fine with that. It's not really sometimes they're called.
I thought it was up to the starter in the left shoulder. We have some terms. Well, we could see if the top three most iconic Christmas characters. Last shoulder, Spider-Man, Superman.
Not to mention that it is literally the Pokemon mascot. I'm sure everyone that knows the relative is just called Pokemon.
Consider this. Consider the starter is yellow. It's a regular consider of camouflage. And it becomes very clear when you really expect food. And they got your fighter to see in the left shoulder. And it actually figures it out. The first step is the force of the side. It's only just into the normal level. It's totally inside.
You put it in that figure out. Let's be honest with you.
All right, fine. There's no way this is an SQ starter.
The coolest thing about you is the fact that you can evolve in these multiple different types. Stone, rock, power, thirsty, or like even fairy tales. So there was all this just things and I can warm.
We need to think really that confident. Think about it. Everyone always asks, what's the favorite food? The only thing you can care about is the evolve to the food. I care about Pokemon stuff.
So just like you or anybody that's confused by it, I just said it was layering on the blade.
What's stop?
You don't get easy purely for the position as a starter. It's wrong. And let me be clear, I can only say this, even if it's a bad Pokemon, and it is a bad starter.
How would we want to do that started?
It's not a practical lesson. It's not something I just real skills. For your study. It's hard to even understand.
Chikorita is the best starter.
If you want to take part of this discussion to it, you better get used to it.
Chikorita is a terrible starter. He gets completely clapped by over half the kids in the game. Faulkner, Bugsy, Morty, Price, and Flair all use knives to destroy grass knives. Not to mention that Team Rocket uses poison knives. Viability is the only thing Donald, Chikorita, Baby, and the game is not really long next time with their players. And the Mon is a nice addition to any team that its support moves like reflective night. Give a wide support moves using focus. The AI is never so difficult.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I have to get a bunch of experience with the opponent in the stock. It is unfortunate because I do like Chikorita try to do myself. But goddamn, a pure grass type with a support style reset and a different grass type of the season down is done.
I still say Chikorita is best year. I like that it's support where you can pick up other
Look, think of it as good as the comments and all that is bad and the reason starts. The only good thing about it is not have to do it with a very tight. Joe will do no good time.
Joe only likes to read it. We could have big leagues that love it like that. Who told you that? You were out for the first day of the
I can't trust anyone to do it. I'm just going to put the rate and if we're not arguing about it, just going to have two others where they go. Because I want to send it to one code about it. It's kind of confident. I've looked at the best thing that's good.
I have a soft spot in my heart for City Field. Totodile is always a great option.
Totodile is almost such a goofy fellow. I go to this one.
Put the Bulls at 8-3. They're not big starters or anything, but they do I love the Bulls.
It's fun to put in a crash check those legs on the phone and Italian accent. Not the nothing that all three starters are used to this. But they're all on the same field. Not going to get good. I heard you like that.
We even called it a meeting back in 2005, was 13 years ago.
Nah, hold on. I got to completely try the first roll. No shots. People did not try to correctly when the fight was within the line. Properly.
Well, that's never bad. Let's get through the SC as a tool. It's so damn iconic that people recognize it when the rest of the league.
Sounds good. Let's get names on the iconography front. The people at both of them still
That's the fourth generation. I love the super stars. I love the lineup of bangers.
one negative thing that all three of them had was doctors and Ryan picked up. I mean, it's not for like how many years you can stay before they get to the lower.
In terms of in-game performance, you know, the team is this is enough focus. Keeping up like the stat, carrying you through the game.
They really use the firefighter type, but this is not the best. And this is part of that.
All right, then, hoping has the best sniping in the game. Water skill is crazy good.
I do like Cleveland and Montana kind of good, especially if it's you and Tyson and Brown and Brown. Gordon and put it down as well. You still can't get my still a certain time that it's still like
It's my favorite game to go into. This one is carried by the anime. The structure is surprised to like it. Eric put it in a that's good. So the kids are making the money.
I say it's
This one is going into the little guy and forward to go.
you know the stuff.
Even up to this man to give us the lineup and see it start. Also, one really good group is a badass one.
I gotta see it. The one time I used to start football.
The one Joe is actually giving us another fire. The fight is like starting to do it. They're like trying to find it for deputies.
Wow, what's that?
Why? Are you telling me you're going to look at deputies and expect them to fight for anime support?
Oh, good job. Design wise, lovely little there. That's the word. Just start out all right. Just on 50%. You get over started design, like all birds and leaves, and you're all putting the design line, so you're carrying underneath the design and do it now. It's off there. That's a good thing.
All the starters are viable options in the game, but I keep seeing it be a bit boring. And I don't like its design. I put this to I think put optimize these first 13 pages of big designs, but they drop the ball and stand like two semesters.
So what about this kid, Sarah?
Instead of calling one up in the dark night, they kind of fumble the overall design. No better than to have standalone things up and look like an old school Japanese samurai.
I would have to put it that's an executive order. But I have to do that. I'm going to have to do it because there's something wrong with that.
Let's begin with the unexpected. The journalist predictions have had everybody prepared. That's why I remember 988 and a suicide crisis hotline. Anyone can call it at 988 anytime for free confidential support from a trained respondent.
Can you imagine the throw the ball, started standing up to the ball, you know, and you have a break on top of it. Sure, but it's fire, and that's going to top. And that's I get what they were doing. They had to pop it on and like on the grill. But they didn't sit there and build it. So it kind of looks like a picture you can this for it just like yeah, just doesn't learn good fighting move. There's other jobs that are fixing it. The only good fighting move is to learn from doing quickly. I might as well have to change the focus to some sense of that. If you could finish it to the starting stage, you design the typing, even if they go hard. Let's not pretend like I actually read it, but actually everything is still fit. But after the last 2 hours, it's local power carries. You're just bad Jackson to do it. Shell, looking for I'm just going to put that in a GPS. If I got roads and take the power to the arena, I have a shell. On top of it, there's looking for filling the hell and filling in the step on. I can't imagine putting it anywhere. Just thinking in the beach here, it's just the phone, it's good design, it's better. I was going to put it in my George, I will reject you from this ball faster than you could do a jet being rocket at the end of every episode. But you're just right now, Brock. God, yes, George. I hate you to put his pocket. We go straight up the double back started in the he's fighting the grass and goes to the start of the market. But as silly as the more, plan to be smarter with a better color scheme with I guess that's settled down. I hate so much for the Richmond Forest that because such a good design, you end up standing on two goddamn legs. You're crazy, Brock. Consider more as a goal, and that's the new area. Consider more as a great horsepower, and it's that. There's a reason for that. Now that leaves the water type. Sounds like Buffalo. Don't look at that Buffalo. It has a nice design, and it's a good very kind of starting. I don't think it's really Buffalo on this design. How about it? It has to take something with the color dials and kind of ready to get how about and very bad to the place. But I think that is good enough to another. And I have tried to do I personally don't like colors. But that's why I belong to some sort of rating type. And it's going to be effective. Long as the big bill study, looking at the pink design of it all to a massive dress gorilla that plays the drums. I'm not a fan of the starters business to get it rolled. Normally because the soccer players are throwing them around. But maybe there are the people who do things online and it's making pirates out of the things. Alright, but I really thought you know I'm not trying, but it's all one. I don't know if it's pretty weird. This looks like it's a typical B character. I was really out of it. I don't know what to say about it. Wonderful probably the computer stuff down on like what the design is, what it's going on, but it's saved by two rows. So many years ago, now that was just the design gen started. Isn't it crazy that everyone in the other district for the computer, we all collected some bags for it to not stand up to the land. Well, look here comes Florida out of the people think started with the color of the best generation. The local is not doing that. The first part is really down to the not the basic skeleton, just the good, the family called Philippines. Why are you talking about skeleton? All right, so there is some damage to that middle. I think it's that
Right, 2 top rushes. Oh shit.
But it's always important to remember the eternal age of something like that. Strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon. That is only the sharpest perception. Two skilled trainers who try to win the victory. Amen. That doesn't run, so maybe we'll revisit Pokemon in the future, but for now, y'all stay safe out there. Drink plenty of water. You got it, Bill.
He definitely doesn't have it.
No, Bill, don't start.
What the fuck? That's the 46 times penalty.
This mission is impossible. I mean, how are you supposed to do anything when there's a net surface and like 100 guys coming at you from every direction? Oh, this may be a jack mission, but even the best romance in the game won't see this mission for being tracked.
Sounds like a feeling to be free to go. I can casually clear the Grissom Academy mission on insanity with my eyes closed.
Hold on, Bill. The big Grissom Academy.
Damn right, Kitchen is one of the worst designed places in the entire trilogy.
So there are numerous homework missions that are Grissom Academy one. Stage 5 work actually simple mission. I'll do you one better. Here's the tier list with all the critical facilities.
You just had that on command?
I always say that so I don't have to get ready about it. So you mean that critical missions? All the main story missions related to the treatment of public squad mates and every DLC mission.
It sounds like a blast. Where to begin?
Where else at the beginning? We'll probably go to the prologue, which is fine. Where everything starts.
So let's turn this conversation to send it to a higher plane.
Very fast. This is fine offers a solid beginning to the franchise. Starting on the Normandy, we receive an SOS from the planet, which is under attack. Ending in the appearance of a strange ship that we would later recognize as Sovereign.
Even fine as explained to be humanity's first significant foothold in space beyond the small system. So to see it under attack is a depressing sight. Watching the colonists be impaled by spikes and turned into husks is easily one of the darkest things to happen in the history. When I reflect on this mission, it's no wonder people are unwilling to trust again. And even fine is the mission that introduces us to the badass and beautiful actor William, handling her business taking out the flashlight-headed robot.
Shepard may save the colony, but leaders is killed by Sharon, and the Houston ends up exploding in Shepard's youth.
Ha! I'm just faster on my own. There's more like die faster.
Very clever, man. You will find this is very complex, but it is vital to the narrative. We're introduced to a squad and it's the main antagonist, the death of Sovereign.
Plus, we get to punch out that crazy guy named Manuel.
I think Prologue needs to find control of this ship.
No disagreement to achieving mission, but it doesn't reach the heights that others do. A great first step is a massive check one.
One mission I think many people overlook is Citadel. It's called Sovereign. This was placed in Shepard and friends first arrived at Citadel, and your goal is to prove to the council that Sovereign is a traitor.
How nice is this mission to get us used to the council blatantly not believing in Shepard? In this specific instance, the council was justified. We came to them with no proof besides the account of the dock worker we met on Eastern France.
Exposed Sharon as a master class in world building and safety. We're introduced to the council and get to see how decisions are made on a galactic scale. And this mission gives us free reign to explore the Citadel, to gain central power. After we fail the first dive skills, we're tasked with taking down our lead. Bolivar will lead us to rest, or we can go speak to Harvey, who takes us together.
The master if you want to do is a higher. Mass Effect 1 allows the player to approach the threat with victory.
If you need to decide not to look for Garrett or arrest after you've recruited at least one of them and follow up on going after Fisk, 4 and 10. Truly an example of player freedom.
Going after Fisk with insane powers in the ambush are highly unforgettable moments. I remember thinking I wouldn't have enough time to save her as soon as all of Fisk's men like pointed out the door.
Exposing Solid and his power getting up to the heaven. Going to the squad and presenting the evidence to the council. With Solid, she was going to be stripped of all his power, and we, as a Vinderstown Spectre, are sent to get a taken out on our guts.
The Spectre ceremony is a top moment. Listening to the council speak about what a Spectre is supposed to be makes me forget how useless they are going forward. This mission introduces 3 squad mates, including the big boy Rex himself. It has great inspiration, players needed a good firefight, sets us up for the adventure ahead. Exposing the figure is an S-tier mission, one for the record book.
It might seem a bit early to drop an S here, but I have to agree. I feel that this is the mission that's supposed to put me on the game. Exposed Sharon is a snapshot of everything we'll do in Mass Effect 1. It's an expertly designed mission.
Now, on the other side of the spectrum, we have Find the Art of Sony, the mission that takes place on Terra.
Typically, it's recommended using right after you use the citizens. It's a shame that no one is putting back to this because the mission of serum is summarized by just dropping in, picking up the arms and leading, going for dialogue, side quests, and world building to be had.
The only other notable thing about therapy is that it's slow to battle that is one of the purposes. And only because that dude is a problem to the family to the focus.
I was thinking this is probably what's worth us knowing, but because it introduces the blue beautiful geography, I can't put it down as far as the law.
Let me shout out to the amazing position of their master design. We are the least mind and the least separate in the hallucination. Plus, we are only become angry if we hear evidence of the weakness, the foe, the cipher, and separate visions that stand with decades of research and a desperate law. A nice change of dialogue to reflect how long the violence is trapped but still only a sincere.
Oh God, Pharaoh. What are you talking about? Pharaoh is the best mission in the case.
Joe Barros is so boring that I'd rather drive around in the empty world of Bolton's Mass Effect and Andromeda for 5 hours.
I'm honestly not surprised that Sleepy Joe likes Pharaoh. The dull landscape of gray and brown are probably easier inside, and he's probably able to reach all the bland characters in the mission. Pharaoh has numerous great characters like Fidan, Arcalia, Elizabeth, Gavin Husso, and
You're reaching a bill. The only character from Pharaoh is worth a second of consideration for Tiara.
all the assignments on Pharaoh are boring and stupid. Turn the water back on, look for bears in the tunnel, looking for batteries, they're all fetch quests. Nothing interesting happens in any of these quests either. Okay, but come on, the stories are pretty cool though, and it's flashing all the best killing off in the massive the dark atmosphere of Pharaoh.
The story of the school is started by British Howard Defense for 15 minutes by sending the wings and wings to speakers and phones of Chiala House. The worst part is it's not even hard. It's annoying them to do.
The only thing over the Pharaohs is the ending of it, when you get the close to the cycle. But going through all that BS to theology is horrendous.
What about how you can kill the colonists to save them all? Except it's not a choice. Saving the colonists is objectively the right decision. Even if you only get 30 war assets from it in Mass Effect 3, it's still more than zero. This is one of the moments in Mass Effect where being relegated to punishment because there is no substitute for the colonist war asset.
Joe, you have 2 seconds to tell us why Pharaohs should go higher than 2 years.
The both of you, I don't care. Let Pharaohs and move on. That's what I thought. Now we get to the ability on thinking the people in Mass Effect 1.
Bavaria has a little bit of everything and does all of it as well. The assignment with wartime John is some of the best in Mass Effect 1.
The various ways you can get a garage pass to head to P-15 alone makes North Korea stand out this. You can help Tiana in her investigation as most normally do. If Laura Keane is evidence to get it fast, or send the evidence into unknown later. Not only that, it's just to know everything is faster by accepting the part of the whole thing and turning it back into unknown later.
Laura is my favorite. We could grab you in the house with a layer for they'll both off each other.
Of course, that was your favorite Donald you monster. The corporate recognizes David here is not the place in the area of the future. But it gets better if you get to 15.
Look like monsters. They don't really think it's not back to the short term. P-15 is just the same tunnel over and over again.
See, by this point in the game, you probably seen these same tunnels on side missions each of the time. The lead assets in Mass Effect 1 has not reached themselves.
Still, acquisition of P-15 is active. And that's different facts. You can take the more direct competition. Resulting in Captain Prowess and his been turning. Or you can help the people suffering from illness, which will get you a pass from Dr. Cullen to giving you a straight shot to the moon.
The boss fight against the lead something.
I have my limits. I won't let the media get distracted from how lame this so-called boss fight is. They hype the media up as if the sorry matriarch with immense wisdom and power, with a legion of a sorry commando. The media barely fight goes down like wet paper, the broken overworks of terrible cargo. The last highlight is the practice course from the player and the favorites.
Both choices have their merits. At this point in the story, we don't know that the last guy
Line was indoctrinated during the invasion. So as far as anyone knows, this is violent property. However, the Rachman Queen's promises never to let itself be seen again in Cassandra. It's too bad Mass Effect 3 kind of invalidates the story by having the Rachman present identity regardless of what you say. Overall, I think nobody really understands this. Never going to get up to the side and private with outside right now.
We can't go wrong with those reasons. The first and final act of the first Mass Effect part.
The next three missions are the loyalty missions of Mass Effect 1.
You all three minutes, if we're being honest. Rest the family is all right. It's short and sweet and take care of your building for Rex. But, doing this mission is fixing to keep Rex alive on Vermont. Put it in C tier.
Good, and now we have Garrett's mission to deal with Dr. Salient.
Conceptually, this is a good mission. Hunting the Solarians growing illegal organs in people's bodies was an interesting idea. The outcome of this mission also influences Garrus' morality, pushing him toward martyrdom or renegade.
Doing this mission doesn't really matter because regardless of the outcome, Garrus will end up being a vigilante on Omega. Never becomes on the mission.
Seriously, ask yourself, if you didn't do Garrett, would you care about it at all? No, not particularly. Finally, sticking to your old brain, Joe. Put the thing I did to the next to it.
Okay, but this next one is even worse than Garrus' mission.
We agree there. At least the family on this is short. The help Callie of the building is you have to complete the assignment of the next week. We're going to help those to find different planets to be careful but still get it. All of that is to get Callie a copy of some data.
First off, it's not even necessary. Callie will accomplish the program regardless of doing this mission by Mass Effect 2. And the only story impact for this mission is a one-off voice line during the freedom process. I would rather play all of the drones again than to do this mission one more time ever again.
I usually restrict anyone who says they want to play Andromeda, but this time I'll let it slide because Callie gives it great teeth.
Before we move on to the final act, let's talk about the CLC mission, Bring Down the Sky.
I enjoy the premise of the mission. The Terrians rescue an asteroid at one of the human colonies, and it's up to Shepard to stop it.
It's too bad that Bring Down the Sky relies on driving around in the Mako.
It's not bad. And the mission ends with interesting choices that force you to think. Is it better to sacrifice the options to stop balance once and for all? Or is it to save them
He's a train.
and let balance escape, allowing them to do no harm?
I say, put Bring Down the Sky in this year. That's a good idea. Introducing us to the ever-hated Batarians, and we can get Colossus armor from them.
Now we move on to the big one, Vermire. Certainly one of the most iconic missions across facilities.
Vermire starts with that gas, dropping it right into the action, despite the suggestion campus to reach the Solarian sea.
Also, some job finding on the base of a consistent shade of one dark color.
Vermire is a turning point for the game. It doesn't have any side quests, but that is because it's all about the mission in your squad. Once you get to the Solarian
When there's a
good.
good.
As a cure for the benefit. Naturally, this causes some tension and regret.
This is a great character moment for Rex. He was so important to the online program. But with this new information, it's apparent that he still wants the people to confuse deep inside.
This is a fine example of squad mates. It's also an excellent moment for action, showing that she'll never just be one waiting around as she watches the situation deteriorate.
As much as I hate to see that guy, the fact that it's finished makes Vermire stand out in the face. Rex's death has consequences in the future in Mass Effect 3 because his brother Reed was in charge. It paints pure the devastated with a different light.
After this, you get the iconic quote of the line speech from Security. You begin the operation on Vermire, which served as an early template for suicide mission. Delegating tasks to actually invading and accomplishing side objectives to ensure the mission goes more smoothly and hilarious.
And we can't forget the true highlight of the mission, speaking aside. We don't even need to give our opinion on this one. We'll let God finish this off.
After you move on, you start setting up the list to destroy Sharon's research station. But with things go wrong, you're forced to leave Kate behind and leave the planet with Ashley.
Hold on, Donald. You're not forced to leave game. It's a choice between the two.
And the choice is obvious, as is the case always, and not because she's a woman, but because she's a better character.
Casey is better than gameplay and actually is borderline weak in Mass Effect 3.
So once you can't do the Mass Effect understanding the difficulty, you rely on Gareth and Casey to play the game.
Gentlemen, please, regardless of which one you like more, the choice to be one of your hand behind the die is what made Mass Effect the mainstay of so many people die. That story is the same understanding about the environment of clear and empty. Everyone looks forward to such as it shows as the first emotional impact of the story.
Time for the ending.
I split the ending into two parts, but there's really good things. The first half is Kilo. Find the conduit, which starts out great with Shepard and Crew feeling the Normandy, and makes a fast-paced drop on the other side of the world.
This sense of urgency is with the witness. Started already has a head start and locks the door to the confidence behind him. Forced and Shepard to take the long way.
The environment of Helos is the best in the game. The only complaint biblically is this location hasn't been inhabited in millennia. The desperation is intensified by the reporting of the protein, proceeding that the research cannot be stopped.
Once you start chasing after Sarah, you can stop and stop the business. This is the game just fun. Finally, opening us up to the truth about what happened to the protein, how they can raise the mission invasion for our cycle, and what the stakes are for us to be able to stop Sarah and Sovereign.
You return to the makeover with a new mindset. Hurry the hell up, because Sarah has already made it through the conflict and has started this attack on the Citadel.
Let's give our last find the conduit a heart and certainty. It serves as the perfect beginning of the ammunition that leads us directly into the final mission of Mass Effect 1, Race Against Time. The final battle that is the battle of the Citadel.
Arriving on the ruins of the city is a stark contrast to how perfect and pristine it was at the beginning of the game. This is the secret of the lack of government, and it started to fall. This side is probably the same through the proteins at just as their research began.
The combat on this mission is on. You know Sarah and Sovereign are about to succeed. And guns and frozen jets are pouring out all over the place to stop them. But by this point in the story, your Shepard is probably an unstoppable being, so you can press right through them.
Further up this road, you can go straight ahead and push through the Citadel tower defenses line again. Boys go down, take on the further yelling battle masters and warlords. Once you get through the back of everything will start again. The Citadel tower setting up the final confrontation with Sarah.
The boss fight against Saren is a copy of the fight with Evelyn Vermeer. But that's not the important thing. You can persuade Saren into playing and losing Russian roulette using your morality, putting an end to the furious once and for all.
Then we get our final big game again. Save the council or prioritize Sovereign.
I don't know about you, but the council can get bent sideways.
I agree, but no matter what you do, the council comes back just as a human citizen, which is why I save them most of the time. So I'm humbled with 3 clowns and you can do eventually show up.
Either way, luckily the Alliance can save the day as a massive telegraph and
After the cutscene, we head back to Shepard. There isn't quite so much to take off yet.
Massive respect is justice. They do what so many fictional characters fail to do and send someone down to double tap on Sarah to ensure she's dead.
But it's not over because Sovereign assumes direct control of Saren's body. And now we get the only actual good final boss in the trilogy.
This fight isn't complex, but it still nails what it wants to do without an addition. I enjoyed that the fight much back in the battle is going to get more dire for the Alliance. However, we eventually pulled through and both Saren and Sovereign want them to us.
Your choice to save and sacrifice the council comes into play here. If you keep them, you meet with the council, and they admit they're finally ready to let humanity join their ranks.
Or you can kill them. You can speak with Regina and Anderson. Regina then poses the idea of an alternate council, which may be the only thing that Snake has said that I actually agree with.
That obviously doesn't happen in hindsight. Why would it? Surely the Asari, Solarian, and Williams would have backup counselors ready. That aside, my choice here is who will become the human counsel. Anderson knows he's human.
In the moment of picking Anderson makes sense. Regina has proven himself untrustworthy already. Also, with the war on the horizon, the military leader may be better. However, with hindsight, we should probably pick Regina. Anderson doesn't seem to like being a counselor, and even if he did, he gives it up to lead the fight on Earth during Mass Effect 3.
Still thinking Anderson to see me being a squirm like the worm he is? With all that said, battle at the Citadel was obviously an executed mission. There isn't anything glaringly wrong with it. It serves as the perfect conclusion to the first part of the trilogy. The stakes are high, the pacing is immaculate, and it cements the legend of Shepard in the guilty way. Well, the consistency. Oh, it's Bernie. He says he wants to be taught.
Good evening, gentlemen. Brock told me you'd be talking about the missions, and I have some unique thoughts I figured I could share. I see you have already completed Mass Effect 1. It looks good. Well done putting Pharaoh's here where it belongs.
And just like that, you already have better things to do, me, Joe.
Bernie, you sound kind of different from the last time you spoke. Oh, sorry about that. I was getting over a cold. I hope my voice sounds better. I grew up in Brooklyn, so sometimes my accent doesn't come through correctly. I'm ready to start with Mass Effect 2 if you are.
Oh, hold on a second. My food just showed up.
I need to grab a bite too. Give me 100 seconds amount of time to get my food, and I'll be right back.
So, Bernie, I've been thinking.
You know, big guns yell about healthcare and capitalism, the same thing I've been doing since school.
61 points, that's better. That's really better for Efren. He's captain, so he's full speed probing.
Don't care. That's great.
The bourgeoisie is one of the areas to increase their capital, control government,
This was an economy plan to come together. One thing, back forward, stand by when we can get.
Okay, guys, Joe, please change the topic to anything else.
That may be the happiest I've ever heard you be in history.
Gentlemen, I have a revelation. There was another deal from Mass Effect 1 that should have been covered. It's called Pinnacle Citizen.
Not surprising, the source code of the Pinnacle Citizen is corrupted, undertaken must survive with the created. As such, it's included from the legendary business. But it's not all that popular, even within the Mass Effect community. Almost no one minded it being left out, so some modders managed to get it back in the remaster.
Unlike most DLCs, Pinnacle Station doesn't have much of a way to store. You go to the special military training facility where you meet Admiral Hayden, a vet of the first contact era.
If I remember correctly, the gameplay is just completing all of the combat simulator trials. Now that I think about it, it's a lot like the combat sim from the Citadel DLC. There are 4 modes: capture, survival, hunt, and time trial. Each really different. That's it, really? You also get the department if you complete the hardest challenge, the simulation of a real fight with the first contact war. And to be fair, it is pretty hard.
Is this basically something we'll miss?
Not really. As Bernie said, there wasn't much discourse when we found out the Pinnacle Station wouldn't be in the legendary edition. Everyone pretty much shrugged and moved along. Combat and gameplay are not Mass Effect 1's strongest point, and Pinnacle Station makes that abundantly clear. I've been playing drama. At least that has gameplay to back up having happened story.
Is it time to move on to Mass Effect 2?
That is it. We'll start with the first mission, which is technically 2 scenes combined into one. Prologue Safe Building and Prologue Awakening.
The beginning cutscene is a great start. We're just going to space looking for guests, and then boom, a huge ship appears out of nowhere and starts tearing the Normandy apart.
Seeing the presence of Normandy after all, was the final ship of the Alliance get taken out in heartbreaking.
A lot goes down in all of them. First, Navigator Presley and another member of the Normandy team just fall over the dock. And the whole ship started burning as we watched the arms of the Alliance survivors like the
I got mixed feelings on this going forward. On the one hand, walking around the CIC in silence, seeing the space crews of the store's ceiling, is a legendary accomplishment. However, I believe
He's younger, and he supports all the members, so I'm making him as my head coach and signed him to a 5-year contract.
On almost everything Mass Effect did. It pretty much destroyed all of the progress made in the overall narrative up to this point. We end up spending a lot of old territory too since Shepard died, but each team building again, having to go through the trouble of getting the council's trust for the second time. I still think watching Shepard plummet through the world alone in a haunting sight is a great way to start the game. Next, we get to the cutscene watching Shepard reconstruct his survival thanks to the ransom.
God, what I really get to wake up and see Miranda looking down on me like that.
They're not.
The Shepard's here.
Gentlemen, I'll be borrowing the rock for a bit.
Anyway, the Star Patrol log awakens your all. Immediately you jump out of bed and have to get to work. The station's on under attack and you have to make it to Miranda who's guiding you. A good way to sneak in a tutorial for the game. As we move on, we pass by a bunch of dead bodies and some servers before we get the lab. Things are really going down. Then we have the unfortunate pleasure of meeting up with David Taylor. At least Jacob is honest enough to tell us he's with Cerberus, unlike Wilson.
Miranda's first appearance is immediately offering the guy for being a filthy rat.
This mission concludes with us leaving the Lazarus station and having our first meeting with the elusive man. As far as opening show, this mission doesn't match up to the prime. The death of Shepard is contrived, and so is their revival. The destruction of the Normandy makes a decent set piece, but it's a shame that instead of continuing to build up the Normandy crew, we lost all of them besides Joker, Shockwads, and Adams.
Survived for this mission and telling me he goes to be here. In short, it basically serves as a tutorial. But I think you're honestly preoccupied with planning.
No, I think I'm talking about Miranda. Let's just put the phone on the computer and head on to further the progress.
This will be something that's going to investigate confidence and justice to arrive at the intelligent series of the morning flight. That is still the encounter of clarity, one of which reference Slayer. I was going to say face for someone I suppose.
Oh yeah, how nice of BioWare to reintroduce us to a squad that started with Tally. All the way up to the team.
Significant development in Tally here. When we last saw her, she was just a big guy to get through the door, but not only the Tally on charge, she's commanding them with respect. I started clapping my hands and other people
The Glorians are here looking for one of their own, a kid named Beaver. But before getting let's get through the problem and match that Peter has taken control. Now what I think about it, Peter's second the field man, Peter's under programming the heavy tech. BioWare designed the fight with the heavy tech wisely. As Miranda and Ethan as our first two squad mates, so we can get used to using powers and ammo types to weaken shields and armor before attacking health directly.
You should have seen Joe trying to fight it early. Joe kept charging into it and getting blown up.
What else are you supposed to do? Use the status cover to rotate on the vector to do that. I know Vanguard players like to unga-bunga their way through the game, but you have to turn your brain on and beat the listen.
Build this bad in the side. Freedom's progress ended up learning to conduct it on security parameters and new ways of administrators many don't know about. After talking about them, you can let Tally keep Peter or send him to Cerberus.
I won't lie, I did send the kid to Cerberus on my first run, and even I have to say that I felt bad when we saw him again on Tally's loyalty mission.
Oh, Don, what I should find great setting hard rules. Don't get used to it. Freedom's progress is an easy business. We're still in the room, even though it's just the Tally. We can't be doing this right yet. I think the mission should go in 2 years. Agreed to no longer Mass Effect 2 as we prepare to concentrate.
Combat is really not good either. I hate fighting people.
See, here it is. And we're finding the first wave of recruitment missions. We can strongly devise them to begin with dossier the professor, which is more than a precision mission. So we'll start there.
Then we'll use the good stuff. Before entering the quarantine zone, we have Shepard flexing the fact that they have a grenade launcher strapped to their back when a Turian tries to stop them from entering. About time people finally start respecting the 1-2 law of society, bigger gun diplomacy.
Pretty funny that she can potentially bring drugs and Garrett on this mission about the plague that killed all over aliens besides orthodox humans. Probably a good thing Tally didn't come with us on Freedom's progress.
The atmosphere of this mission is immaculate. Walking in, we immediately see burning bodies and come across 2 dead Furies that were trapped in a room and left to die under the sun. As you listen
Say to the brain instead of killing.
Speak for yourself, I won't fight by that guy every time.